Gaming Dojo, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. And today it's Gary Grigsby's War in the Pacific, our usual Monday 2 o'clock stream. Now, I said the whole thing there because my wife told me she likes it better when I say it all the way out. And I said, wait a minute, you don't like find and turn and learn and burn and she said no. So she said it sounded nicer. Now I had two comments about the intro today that I found very interesting. One was a gentleman said that his wife absolutely hates it because she knows he's going to spend another hour watching a video. So that's not a bad reason. Yeah, I can understand that. Someone else said they preferred when my wife popped in that one day and said, "You're bringing the mojo back to the dojo," and they prefer that as a tagline. Maybe we'll go there. I don't know. That might be a little cheese for me. I don't know. We'll see about that. All right. So yesterday, on our usual Sunday turn resolution, we clicked over from December 23rd to December 24th. It is now Christmas Eve, 1941. Everyone is hoping for one of those little red wagon, what were those called? The radio flyers, maybe? I don't know. In 1941, what the hot gift was. We hope to put a Mark II mine in Admiral Yamamoto's stocking. We'll see if that's possible. Okay, let's go see what happened last turn. The I don't know. I don't know if I liked last turn or not. I felt like it wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. We did get some torpedoes off. I think we know that we sunk one Japanese cargo ship. That was about it. We also had a destroyer that got into a scrap with a pretty good sized Japanese surface fleet. We'll have to go look at that. That's down by Jalo in that area. Damn, I can't remember what the name of that sea is. I always like to say it, but I can't remember it right off the top of my head. Anyway, okay. Let's look at the stats. Let's go to the stats. Sorties, we ran 3181. The Japanese ran 1969. We still don't know where their main task force is. Maybe it's going to emerge in 1942, like a phoenix from the ashes. Air-to-air losses, we took 15 yesterday. The Japanese took 28. Okay. We had some really heroic fighter work in China. Surprisingly, I mean, usually the Chinese Air Force is not something to fear or to stay away from. But in this case, they held their own against the Japanese, even against some zeros. So that was great because we had the Flying Tigers. We are trying to get them out of Chen Chao. Yeah. And get them up to Chongqing, but there's 10 of them that are like damaged. So we had to, take part of the squadron out, the other part's waiting. I was terrified they'd get hit on the field. They did not, though. They did not. And the Chinese stood tall in the center part of China and held off any further losses so far. So we got the better of the air war yesterday. We should, on most days, even though the Japanese have better planes and pilots, that's because they're running bombing missions. We're not, right? This is like their bombers and fighters against our fighters. We should be killing more of theirs. Destroyed on the field, I hate those, but we've only got 19 for the campaign. It's manageable. I'm not sure why this went up a little bit this turn. Could just be random chance. Could be something we changed. I don't think so. I can't think of anything that it would have been. Our flak did kick in a little bit over Singapore. There was some flak losses by the Japanese. Always glad to see that. The Japanese had some, decent amount of operational losses last turn that we know not great. Our score is actually rising. We're almost back up above 11,000. That's because we're holding on to territory. That's going to change. The Japanese will come get more bases, but we're really holding our own in the air and on ground this time. The Chinese again came up strong. We've got a lot of political points. Now, at some point, we could say, hey, we'll take one of these and move one of those big infantry divisions off the U.S. West Coast and put it on an island somewhere. I mean, that almost makes an island completely unable for the Japanese to take that from an amphibious perspective. If we put one of those big divisions on, it is a style of play that you can do where you can say, hey, I don't know. I'm going to land a full U.S. division at Port Moresby. Come and get me. You know, I was like there's nothing the Japanese could do about that. They could not float enough troops down to take you at that point, wherever you may want to put that. I mean, if we wanted to get really ahistorical, we could put one big U.S. division at Surabaya and another one at Batavia or up at Palembang and really cause problems, but we're not going to do that. We won't go quite that far. Allied bases controlled, we're still at about 570. Excellent. Japanese at 268. Allied aircraft points lost. We continue to widen our lead there. We've only lost 176, Japanese 295. Uh, Now, this number, again, there's not a whole lot we can do about that. We're doing all we can, but you're just going to troops in the Philippines, is what it is. Allied 8 for 5 and Japanese 15 for 132. We'll go to the ships that were sunk last turn. Now, we looked at this right at the end of the resolve yesterday. We had a lot of these, two, 1 point ships that got taken out. We also got a torpedo into a British transport near Rangoon. That was a torpedo from a plane. That was from a torpedo plane. Did I just say that twice? Yeah, that was from a plane that dropped a torpedo in the water. Hey, at least they got the troops off. You know what I'm saying? So, there was no troop losses here. It had already dropped everything off at Rangoon and was getting out of there. Hey, it is what it is. I mean, we knew what it was when we sent the Rona down there, and unfortunately, it was what it was. Uh, so anyway, that's okay. The Hokamaru we took out. That was the ship I was talking about. This is the Japanese cargo ship. That's the only one we're showing as sunk. I actually think there may have been a couple of more. We got some sub activity into their cargo. Whoa, why did that flip me all the way down to Tahiti? Well, I don't know. I didn't want to do that because I think we may have some exciting news if we look over here. Um, let's look at the group reinforcement schedule for the planes. Might as well. We've got some Hudsons. These are all coming into Mojave in 1 day. Those are training craft, really. Then we've got the Banshees in 2 days. We've talked enough about those, but I'm excited about the Banshees coming in at Brisbane. That will be a big day. Anything we got to get out of here anytime soon? I don't think so. Days before withdraw, I think that was okay, sorted right. Yeah. In 22 days, we have a lot of bolos leaving the field. They're all at the eastern U.S. We have a couple at Chungking that also need to get out of there. What kind of aircraft are these? Medium level bombers. Okay, well, I don't even have the Chinese do any bombing, so we're okay. I wish I would quit clicking off that. Okay, so that's fine. List top pilots. Did we get an ace this? Ah, dang it. I was hoping it was Burgard. Burgard's been stuck on 4 for a very long time. These are all the Flying Tigers here, but we also have a British pilot here, Fiskin. I'm going to call it, it's a G Fiskin. I'm going to call him Gregory Fiskin. Um, he Okay, I'm just looking through here. He's got 4. He's only been on 12 missions. He's got 4 kills. This guy's incredible. He's like an idiot savant of Buffalo ones. So we've got a British pilot that may be our first ace. We've got a lot sitting on 4 now, and a whole bevy of people on the scoreboard here at 3. So we should get one before long. More than one, actually. We've lost 41 pilots killed, 42 wounded. Okay, it is what it is. Um, Dang it, I really thought we were going to have an ace by now, but nope, we have not. We could go look through all this, but why? Why? Let's not. Let's not do it. Um, okay, let's then. Where did I want to go first? Well, I wanted to look around here. Yes, this is where I wanted to look at all of this action out here by Jalo. We've got a battleship and 3 cruisers supposedly here, plus a few other ships. It says 6 ships sighted. We've got APDs everywhere. We've got APs, AKs, and then we've got some mine sweeping action here. Wow. Okay, so this is a big invasion task force. I don't think it's their main task force. We're not seeing any carriers. We're not seeing any of their escort carriers, nothing like that. What we are seeing are bombardment craft here. Um, and that bombardment craft is leading to an invasion. When, where, we don't know that yet. We don't know that yet, but it's coming. It's coming. Hold on. Let me see here really fast. Let me go check something really fast. Okay. Um, I just wanted to make sure I had something turned on for the comments. It's a Monday. It's a Monday. All of you guys are asleep. Okay, so yeah, we've got a big invasion force on the way. We don't know where it's going. Now, it could be going to Monado, but that seems a little big for Monado. I think it may go to Tarakan, or I thought it was going to go to Tarakan, but now I'm not so sure. It seems to be kind of coming down this way. Now, I do not know why they would waste an invasion force that big to come and take Mindanao. They could really put almost anything up here. Now, what is this? We've got 6 ships sighted there, including some kind of mine sweeping. That certainly could be a task force that's going to land here. This up here is a light cruiser, 2 patrol gunboats. This is kind of a bombardment type. So, I mean, they're coming to Davao. They're going to take Mindanao somehow. This task force, I do not know where it's going, where it's headed, what it's up to. It looks like it kind of wants to curl around here, or maybe even come to Davao and take Mindanao. I mean, okay, it seems like a little overkill to me. But hey, I'm not playing the Japanese side. If that's what the AI wants to do, so be it. We do have this task force now. 2 destroyers and a cruiser headed to the north part of Borneo. They still have not landed here, which is very surprising to me. I am quite shocked that the AI has not landed on Borneo yet. We're not even really defending it. We've got 4 cargo ships here and a transport ship. This would probably be part of a task force to land here. Brunei, Miri, Jesselton, pick your flavor. Who knows, where they're going to eventually land. But we're not even putting up a defense there. And so you look at all the sub activity. Gosh, that's beautiful when those subs are out there patrolling to the north. The Japanese have almost, so let's go to Malaya here. The Japanese have almost made it to Kwanton. They're pushing, pushing, pushing. We're trying to get out of there. We're trying to get out of there with this unit. It's already been whittled down to an assault strength of 1. It's the 3rd battalion out here, SSVF battalion. It was trying to get back. It's getting completely overrun. We've got this unit now that we got to just make sure that the Japanese don't get here at Kwanton and then come up here and cut it off. It is also retreating. It's got a 61 assault strength, so it needs to get a move on. Let's go. It's gone 43 of the 92 miles to get to Tumala, but I kind of feel like now we need to set it for Kuala Lumpur, and I think I'll just go ahead and do that to make sure it doesn't stop. These guys are sitting at Temela saying, "Hey, what's going on?" Bzzzt, we just buzzed right by you. We're going to Kuala Lumpur, my friends. Uh, as a matter of fact, let's set its objective to Kuala Lumpur as well, and this is where we'll make our initial stand. We've got some good decent stuff at Kuala Lumpur here, as you can see. Let's actually look at the infantry. Everything's to combat, everything's to defend, everything's at target. All replacements are on. Okay, I mean that's what we want. That's what we want. So it's here. We've got what 350 or 335 in assault strength. Pretty good. We've got some anti-tank, we've got some anti-aircraft, we've got 2 base forces, which I was trying to build up the fortifications as fast as I could. I'd like to get to a level 3 at least before the Japanese get here. Right before the Japanese get here, we'll get the base force, that extra base force out for sure. We do have these units at Temela, and if we look at them, okay, they're not. We've got this one, the Hyderabad battalion. Hyderabad, yeah, battalion. Okay, it's out here. We're going to turn that to yes for replacements. The light AA will turn that to yes for. Now these 2 are set for Singapore. Um, you know, I don't know. We'll leave them here for now. They should just retreat straight back to Kuala Lumpur, join this group, and when they do that, they're going to add another 124 assault strength. That will be 500 plus maybe a little more. Now, what is over here at Quantai? It's just the base force. Now, I could get it out of here. I probably should get it out of here, actually. Um, it's got 7 engineers. I mean, the Japanese are going to be here like next turn. It may take them one more than that. Let's go ahead and set them to go to Kuala Lumpur and get them out of here. There's just no need to keep them here. They were really here to build up a fortification so the Japanese couldn't directly land there. And we had another force there at one time. It's already marched up. So let's get it out. Let's get it out. Yeah, this base force is moving. That base force is moving. Or I mean, the base force and the infantry unit, they're both moving. We'll put him to Kuala Lumpur as well. We've got a lot of base forces coming this way. Okay. Um, Stanley, what's going on, buddy? SSFV is straight settlement volunteer. I assume you mean volunteers by vols. Okay, okay, good to know. Thank you, Stanley. They should just stay and defend to the last man. They're volunteers, Stanley. They didn't even have to be out here. You are a cold-hearted, bloodthirsty man. No, I hear you. They should stay to the They are staying to the last man. They're down to 1 assault strength. I think they're just going to be completely overrun this next turn. Um, okay, so we've got things here kind of the way they need to be. I don't know. We could get these torpedo bombers out, I guess. They tried to hit the airfield last time. They didn't really have much success doing it. We did get the RAF out. The 224, the 223, meanwhile, are all riding home, trying to get letters on the next little dinghy out of Singapore, saying, goodbye. I loved you. I'll miss you. I remember the memories in 1932 because we have left them here to kind of out to dry to some extent. Now, all of these should be flipped over to 223. That does cost us a political point, I think, or a few. It costs us like 5 or 6, but that's okay. They're going to get better leadership as they eventually succumb to the Japanese bombing campaign. Where did that go, I wonder? That transport. I guess I could go find it in the unit map. Is that it? No. We had to come out of there full speed. Hmm. Well, now I'm curious, Stanley. Dang it. Let's. Oh, whoops. Let's bases. Come on, man. All ground units. Well, I'm really looking for headquarters, so let's get off of that. And I'm looking for air headquarters. Oh gosh, am I gonna have to go through all of this? Um, the RAF, is that considered Commonwealth or is that considered just straight up British? 224. This would be over ground units, though. I think I'm in the wrong spot. Dang it. No, because this has got air armies here. Um, oh, I didn't want that. That's not what I wanted. Oh, restricted attach, unrestricted. That's what I wanted. Here we go. 224 Group RAF is headed for Tajilajap on Task Force 585. Where is it? Okay, okay. We're getting past Bangra. We're going to go past Billiton, go through the strait. Hopefully we don't. Yeah, gosh, please don't let the Japanese put a torpedo through that. We did see that. There's that sub now. We're kind of in hot pursuit of it. Okay. Well, maybe we got them out. We'll see. We've tried. We've got them like a third of the way out. At least we got them on the transport. The transport didn't get blown up. That's always a positive. But as you see, in Malaya, we're in big trouble. What's going on over here in Burma? Now, see, I don't know why the Japanese do this. Or a good human player, I don't believe would do this. Come down to Victoria Point. They probably have a few troops here. They could just send up and take it. If I was them, I'd go straight across to Mole or start here and go straight across to Tavoy. And maybe they will, but it almost seems like they're coming down here to like then go back up Okay, it gives us a little more time. Now, as you can see here, 13th Burma Rifles is also almost here to Chiang Mai. We're going to take a Japanese base. I think that'll be kind of the first offensive move we made. Let's look up in China and see what's going on. Um, we've got this unit marching down here. I say this unit, it's a heck of a lot more than one unit. It's all of those units that you see on the screen. They're coming down here to Hankow. Now we are getting some detection though. As we get closer, there still is, or at least the Japanese just moved it over here. There are two enemy units here, but we're bringing a pretty good sized force. We're also attacking at Sinyang, and let's make sure these guys are all on combat. Okay, I just want to make sure that we don't have somebody set on move because that's always a real kick in the pants when they're set on move. Now they will, I think they automatically change to combat when they get in the enemy hex, um, but I just want to make sure. I say I think, as if I didn't make basic tutorials on this game. Combat Sinyang. Okay. Okay, that's all right. That is a lot of manpower that we're bringing trying to take Sinyang. Meanwhile, up here, we're sitting in better shape. We knocked the Japanese back. We've got this unit that's trying to march back here and get back to Chengchao. We've got a massive force at Loyang. As a matter of fact, let's look at Loyang and Chengchao really quickly. Unrestricted, all units. Yeah, I want all units, all units, all units. There we go. Okay. At target, Chengchao. Okay, so some of these could be moved to Chengchao. 47th Chinese Corps, I've got at Xingkang. Okay. Fourth Group Army, Fourth Group Army. There's Fourth Group Army, which is part of Jingchao War Area. But that Jingchao War Area is my lost. I think it's this. No, that's Lusu. That's right. Where is Jingchao War Area? We'll have to go look for it. I think it's either in Cyan. I think that's where it is in Cyan. Or maybe it's right here. There it is. Okay, excellent. Well, that's actually even better. Um, let's go change some of these while we're up here. I didn't mean to spend a bunch of time on China or hadn't thought I was going to, but now see, he's already set up 100 for Cheng Chao. I think I'd just move him down there. I don't know why I wouldn't. I mean, there's no reason he can't be here. He's got a command radius of like what is it, 5. Okay, so anything within 5 hexes all around, he's going to give his command bonuses to. Now, you need the command bonuses for the Chinese. You got to try to keep them all together in the various corps and war areas and whatnot. You've got to try to do that. Loyang, we can now move this to combat. He's going to be set here. That is 4th Group Army. 14th Group Army, which is part of First War Area. Okay, we should probably go look for that, but I'm not going to right now. 15th Group Army, which is also part of First War Area. Combat, Loyang. Okay. Now I looked at that kind of summary screen, but I really needed to get down here. Another First War Area. So all of these are part of First War Area. Interesting. Okay, they're all set up for Loyang. 9th Chinese Corps, that's 14th Group Army, so that works. Oh, whoops, we don't want you on move. We want you on combat. We want this one on combat. That's also part of 4th Group Army, which is perfect. We also want you on combat. This is the one that is set for somewhere else. I'm not really sure why. Let's put it here. I think this moved across the river, if I had to guess. It's part of 4th Group Army, so it should be here. This is really 4th Group Army territory. Now, this is part of 14th Group Army. We have it set for Cheng Chao, so let's move it down there. May as well. I mean, as long as it's within 1 hex, it's going to get all the command bonuses. Anyway, 15th Group Army, Loyang, okay. Uh, 36th Group Army, Loyang, okay. Cheng Chao, 39th Group Army. I don't really, yeah, that's already marching. It's almost there. And then we have a base force. It's the Loyang Chinese Base Force Engineer Unit. Okay, and it's building fortifications, or so I hope, and it is indeed. That's all we have engineers do in China, really. I mean, yeah, they're not building airfields, they're not building ports. Um, the Krakatoa. Wow, what a story that would be, Stanley. They would always be remembered as the RAF command force that got completely consumed by volcanic ash. Um, okay, well now I kind of want to know where First War area is actually stationed. Let's go down here to Chengchao and let's look at its summary. And there it is, first war area. That's what I was hoping. It does have a command radius of 5. Perfect. Excellent. So we can kind of mix these in between. I really would probably rather have all of first war area in Chengchao and for all of what was it, Zhengchao in Luoyang. But close enough, close enough. I mean, you just get to a point where there's just too many of them to get them exactly perfect every time. But these all look good, all at target. They're all defending. I don't see why we wouldn't turn these all into yes for replacements. Might as well. I mean, this is one of the most important places on the map for the Chinese, so we might as well give the replacements here. So we'll do that. I may also do that at Loyang. I could do that here, right? Toggle the replacements on. That'd probably be an easier way to do it. As a matter of fact, okay, let's do it. Let's go to Loyang. This is Jingcha War Area. I was correct about that. Toggle replacements for units on this list to on. Come on. Yeah, all right. Defend. These guys we know they're sending to Chengchao. Okay, 3 units. Including Chengchao War Area, we're going to send down there. We have got 1533 in assault strength at Loyang, and we have 675 at Chengchao. Okay, well, I'm glad we're sending some more things down to Chengchao, which is actually arguably more important. It's right on the railway. I mean, they're kind of sister cities, right? But I mean, this is the one that's on the railway. Let's get more down there. We also have something marching up here from the back. That is the 76th Chinese Corps, part of 34th Group Army. That's right. 34th Group Army, I think, is right back here. This is 5th War Area. No, that's 22nd Group. Okay, well, while we're at it, why don't we look at this screen? At target, at target, at target, combat. Everything looks good there. 5th War, 22nd Group. This is exactly what you want to see. Everything lines up there, all right, from a command perspective. Let's go up here to Cyan, and we'll see what we see at Cyan. We've got the 15th Chinese Base Force. It is part of the Red Chinese Army. And that's interesting because I'm pretty sure we sent the Red Chinese Army up to Yan'an. We'll have to go look at it. Now, here's our 34th Group Army that's part of Zhengsha War area. Question whether we maybe should send them to Loyang or Chengchao, where the rest of their groups are. I mean, 34th Group Army is already on the march up there. I think maybe we should. But I can't leave Cyan completely undefended. What do we have at Yan'an? Okay, well, we're saying 42nd Chinese force should drop back to Cyan. 12th Chinese base force is here as well, which is part of the Red Chinese Army. Second War area is here. 18th Group Army should be the command here, but it's not here. So we'll have to go look for it eventually. What else do we have marching up here? We do have the Red Chinese Army headquarters marching to Yan'an, where it will spend its time. What do we have back here? We've got, let's see, Second War Area, Second Construction, 4th Chinese Cavalry Corps. Okay, we've got them all set to go to Cyan. So that works. Now I'm kind of wondering though if I should shift these around a little bit. Some of these, well, we know this one should get on the march to Cyan. The problem is Yan'an is a lot further forward than Cyan, so I don't really want all of my good units to go back here. But that's okay. We'll get it on the move. That one at least. That has got 189 assault strength, so it's no weakling by any stretch of the imagination. 18th Group Army is up here, which is part of Second War Area. And as we said, Second War Area is coming back this way. That all looks good to me. That's all fine. Um, Patau. Now we just got in a scrap here at Patau a turn or two ago. We need to turn replacements on for this unit. I think they need to get beefed up a little bit. We have another unit here that's trying to get back to them, including a headquarters. 17th Group Army is heading back there. This is the 11th Chinese Corps. It's part of 17th Group. We'll put replacements on for them. Kind of all of these Chinese units at the front, I'm going to put replacements on. And look, if they run out, that's fine. You know, if these guys don't get replacements, it is what it is. We got to throw as much into the front as we can. Over here, I do believe we're marching to try to take this base. It looks undefended to me. It's 6th Group Army, part of Second War area. It is heading to Taiwan now, not the Taiwan you think of. It's on the move. Okay, they're all headed that way. That all looks good to me. All right, Rangoon, we could look at. We could go over here. Now, last time we started, I believe, up in Abaddon. So this time I'm going to start at the eastern United States. I could have used the mini map for that. I did not. Canadians, they still have fighters training. Oh, one thing that I should do before we do that, and I wanted to, is look for damaged ships. Okay, the Barker. This is the one that's being escorted. We still have those PT boats. We have the Glenorchy here. Now, I know that we already kind of dealt with that, along with the Paul Jones, the Sculpin, the Thracian. I don't know if I remember the Thracian. Where is that? Well, it's at Darwin now. Okay. So it's in here. Right. Well, let's disband that and we'll put the Thracian in some repair. What kind of damage does it have? Okay, this could be handled at the pier. It'll be ready in 9 days. That's fine. We don't need to do anything else. There was no major damage, so that's fine. It's being repaired. And that does remind me, actually, though, that I wanted to see how we were doing with some of our stuff at Pearl Harbor. I think that maybe some of our battleships, or one of our battleships, maybe came off. Uh, okay, well, here we can see the whole list, and we'll actually do this the other way. Let's do it like that. The Warspite is going to be ready at the shipyard in Seattle in 2 days. The Horace Luckenbach is transitioning into a ammunition tender that will be ready at Seattle in 3 days. The Pennsylvania at Pearl Harbor in 4. We have a sub at Surabaya that is getting repaired. Will be ready in 4. Tennessee, Maryland, both at Pearl Harbor. Two more battleships. Okay. The Helena, a light cruiser. We have an AV, the Pickerel. Okay, so all of these will be coming off soon, especially the battleships. I mean, let's go look. Do we now have a battleship that is floatable out here? No, we don't. Okay, so in 2 days, we'll get our first battleship repaired. As you can see, we've already got a cruiser and a couple light cruisers to go with it. We'll put them in a nice little task force. They can all be friends. I have not cut the railroad yet, Stanley. I know, I know. I'm trying. I'm trying. I got to get down there. I may be a little behind you. I think that that's actually something you probably should do a little earlier. Now we've got our three carrier groups all here at Pearl Harbor. They're just hanging out, some R&R, getting ready for the main event. But they're just hanging out here now. Okay, I wanted to check on those battleships because we haven't checked on it in a while. While we're here, Pearl Harbor. Um, Actually, let's look at ships under repair, all the ones that are at Pearl Harbor. And here you go. You can see it much better here. Days until they're ready. Battleship, battleship, battleship. I sunk your battleship. No, you did not, Mr. Japanese Imperial Bomber. We're going to roll it off here in 4, 6, and 8 days. So excellent. And then we've got some that are just going to take forever. Although the Nevada is looking good enough here. Let's look at the Nevada. It's still got some major flood damage. That's not great, but I do think we could get this back to San Francisco now. So maybe in a week or so, maybe at the start of the new year. That'll be our big New Year's thing to celebrate, to get the people in America really fired up about this war. We're going to sail the battleship Nevada back to San Francisco. Okay, so we're going to start over here at the right edge this time. Canada is training fighters, training escort. We already knew that. Nothing's going on in the United Kingdom. I'm not the first person to say that. Hey, hey, hey. Eastern U.S. Right. Let's look at the planes, and this is just the easiest way to do it. Make sure they're all training 100, and they are all training 100. I love it. We got no ships in port, and we've actually got no task forces docked right now. We've got some things in the penalty box, and our first things going off to Cape Town, so that's kind of fun. Winnipeg, nothing's ever happening in Winnipeg. I can tell you that. Right. Panama, we got something new. Oh, we did get some new units. We should probably go through the spreadsheet, but I'm not going to. Uh, let, it's almost easier to do it this way. All right, we got to get it back to active ships. We have the Wilhelmina. It's a pretty nice ship. Average speed, pretty good endurance, pretty good cap. Well, these are exactly the kind of ships you send up to the eastern U.S. So let's go cargo. We'll take out the Wilhelmina, put it in that cargo task force. We're going to set its destination straight up this pipe to the eastern coast of the United States of America. My country, 'tis of thee. There we go. All right. Into the eastern U.S. that will go, and that will join those task forces that go from the eastern U.S. to Cape Town. Those kind of ships, like the type you just saw right there, are perfect for that mission. We've got one ship in port down here at Balboa, so on the other side of the Panama Canal, it is the same deal. 14.7, you could almost take this all the way to Australia. I think we figured out that LA to Australia round trip was like 15,800. I think that's right. Gosh, I can't remember off the top of my head. I used to know that. I'm not as sharp as I used to be. Uh, the Maliko. Well, I think this one actually will do the Cape Town run as well. Sure. Although we may need car. You know what? I'm going to send this one up to LA. And honestly, you don't need to use this much brain power for these things. Just kind of send them here, there, mainly to LA, Eastern US, maybe Pearl Harbor. That's kind of the long and short of it. Okay. Let's get this up to LA. We need some more cargo going over to Australia, sure. Some people don't even make that run from the western coast of the US over to Australia. I like to make, and they just do it from the east coast to Cape Town. I like to do it just to have both available, especially if you're playing a human. If they know that you're just doing east coast of US to Cape Town, now they can't do anything about that, right? It's moving through the pipes, but once it comes out of Cape Town, out of the penalty box, they'll just put a bunch of subs out there or down by Perth. Now, they may do that anyway, but at least you would have another way to go to get the fuel supply. Why did that lose? Why did I lose that in my head? The fuel and the supply to Australia. So, I like to have two ways of doing it. So that is the Panama Canal. Now let's go down here, Port Stanley. Nothing going on. Wow, we really took this task force. Where is this going? Oh, it's going to Cristobal. Okay, so I was like, wow, where in the world is that going or coming from? I mean, they're almost off the map. They will be going off the map into the penalty box. Let's go to Tahiti. We haven't looked at Tahiti. I'd like to go to Tahiti sometime. I guess it's absolutely gorgeous, but hmm. Speaking of which, I'm going to do War in the East 2 right after this, but I got to cut it short because the little wifey is making me go get a COVID test. Um, we're going to Aruba on Thursday for her work. Yeah, terrible, right? We're going to Aruba on Thursday. They require that you have a COVID test. Now, I had COVID like a year ago, really, like very early on. And let me tell you, it's nasty. It's like a nasty flu, or it was for me. I'm fairly healthy, but it was a nasty kind of bronchitis type of flu. Um, but I've already had it. But they make you get the test anyway. You got to get the test going to Aruba, and you got to get one there on the way back. And so I'll have some swabs square up my nose a little bit later. Tahiti. Okay, we've got no ships in port, of course. We've got no planes out here. The Arizonan is taking cargo out here from Auckland. Oh, the nice Aussies are coming up. Aussies. I did that again. The Kiwis are coming up here. When I say Auckland, Australia, Auckland and Australia are kind of close together. I think that's why I do that. Auckland is obviously in New Zealand. I know this. I know rugby. Um, Yes, the Kiwis are bringing supply up here to Tahiti, a nice bit of it, nice batch of it. But we got to build up Tahiti a little bit. It's not where we want it to be. We've got one French infantry unit here. We are building fortifications, we're building the airfield, and we're building the port. So I guess we need some engineers here. If we what were the percentages? Yeah, I mean it's not expanding fast. Let's put it that way. As a matter of fact, the airfield and the port are not expanding at all, and they really won't until we get engineers here. We can build fortifications, but we need to find some engineers to bring to Tahiti. Now, we do have more task forces coming here, and this is also kind of the main way. This is our main safe way to bring task forces to the U.S. West Coast or to send them to Australia. Hey, we're going to Pago Pago with this task force. This is the Santa Maria. This has got a port services. So these are aviation support and naval support engineers. We don't see any actual listed engineers, but it's like an engineering unit that will give naval and aviation support. So excellent, fantastic. We need that. We needed more stuff out here to these islands, and I kind of want to focus on them this time. So we've looked at Tahiti. We got to remember that in our head. We got to get engineers to Tahiti. You see a lot of these are coming from Australia with nothing on them, uh, and going to LA, and then we're just going to turn them right back around. But let's go up to San Diego and LA and just see how we're doing up here. Okay, so let's look at the Air Forces. Training, or ASW. Wow, it's 70%. I don't think we need to get that crazy, do we? Um, these guys are going to get worn out in beautiful San Diego. They're like, gosh, I'd like to go out and see the sights, go down to the beach, but no, that's what it is. We had it on training 20% because they're only at 43. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of tempted to keep them. Let's bump that down to 40 and keep that at 20. Their fatigue is only 9. They'll be fine. The training doesn't really take much out of them. We'll even put that on 30. So they're back up to 70. Okay. They're all training. That all looks good. Nothing more to do with them. I wonder how many of them are lost. Well, I'm not even going to go look. I'm not even going to look. Yeah. So now then, what do we have here for ground units in San Diego? We've got everything at target, all right? So nothing has to move. These are all restricted West Coast units. We do have one ship in port. Of course, it is the ACM, which tends your mines, and you need to have one of those where you can to tend your mines. Okay, let's go to the City of Angels. Many times it is anything but it is also beautiful in some places. The 161st Infantry Regiment, this needs to get the heck out of here. Stanley, why is this still here? Well, it hasn't built up yet, and I still haven't quite figured that out. I did turn the replacements on. I think it has something to do with this December 8th scenario. I think it just fills up later. Okay, at least that's what I'm saying for now. We'll see. If this continues on for a little bit, I'm going to have to ask somebody on the matrix board why the 161st Infantry would be this way. It's not filling up like a unit normally does naturally when it comes onto the map. So I'm not really sure. I've got, you know, replacements. What else? Upgrades. I mean, I don't really want to upgrade it. Operation mode. I mean, it's in combat. That should be fine. Combat and defend. I don't know. I don't know. And the rest of them are restricted. But I wish I had an answer to that for you. I wish I had an answer for myself. Who am I kidding? Cargo, local mine sweep. Okay, we've got these cargo ships here now, and we do have a transport, the Ringatera, when that unit is ready. We've got a good transport for it, but unfortunately, not a whole lot we can do. Cargo. Okay, what are these guys up to? Well, they're just sitting here. Now, we said Resources Pearl is what we named it. Does LA have resources? Yeah. Whoa. It's got resources, all right. Holy smokes. That's because there's so much industry here. Okay, if it wants to take, I say it as if I didn't do this. If they want to take resources out to Pearl, that's fine with me. Let's dock it. Let's load resources. All right. And then we'll set this out to Pearl. And we'll just put that on continuous supply. Do that all game. I mean, it's got just an amazing amount of resources there. So if they need some at Pearl Harbor, that's fine. You can have some. We're not stingy with our resources. We have 3 ships in port. Okay. Oh, the Queen Elizabeth. That's who will take that 161st. The Queen. These are the best it gets for loading troops. 8,900. The Elizabeth is getting repaired right now. 12 days, but it does have major damage. Now, why do we not have that in the shipyard? Okay, so now the Elizabeth will be repaired in 13 days. It had major damage. You could tell by the pound sign. I'm not sure why I didn't have it in there. Let's see. The Aguamonte is an AK. It's got a huge endurance, 14 speed, 2550 capacity. Okay, these are slower. So the Aguamonte, I think I'll just leave it here until other like ships come into port. That's fine. I already looked at these, right? Yeah, because it's this 161st. Its load cost. Well, it doesn't have a troop load cost now because it's not filling up. Dang it. I think it's because I do not have these released in the pool, but it was always, it was always my understanding. Now, again, I play a lot of games, and sometimes maybe I can forget something. You say what? Balderdash. It's true, but I thought when it came on the map, it automatically filled up. But I evidently I'm wrong about this unit, or there's something special about this unit. P. Warner. I I don't know P. Warner. Oh, it's not on YouTube right now? Well, I don't know. I should go over to YouTube and find out. Let's go look at the YouTube channel. I was like, usually we have more people for War in the Pacific. Huh. Yeah, it cut off at some point 43 minutes ago. I don't really know why. Whoa, that's loud. That's loud. Um, hmm. I don't know. I don't know. I wish I knew. Let me actually clear that out because I can reload that on there later. I don't know why that would be. It's very strange. I'm glad it's working on Twitch though, so I have some place where it's recorded. Let's get that off there. Delete. I have this thing now, where I'm setting that the streaming is coming up, and it's very difficult to navigate on YouTube about how to get it into that stream. It's driving me a little bit crazy. Okay, back to this. Well, that's fine. I'm glad you guys can make it and you're seeing it on Twitch. That's why I like to have both. But I will get it up on YouTube later. I'll just take that video. It's very easy to then just upload the video onto YouTube. So I will be doing that if you want to rewatch it. If you didn't get enough of me the first time, Stanley. P. Warner, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you, I feel like, in a few days, but maybe, I mean, I don't think we were in a fight. I think we were fine, weren't we? Well, Stanley, I know. I mean, people don't come here for my chat. They come here to watch the game. Hey, Castanar. What's going on? How are you? Thanks for dropping by. Okay. So let's see. What was I talking about? That's always the great question. Oh, we're going to leave that one ship in LA. Okay, we have some things marching about here. I don't know. We got some things going out to the Channel Islands, but that's not a big deal. Let's go up to San Francisco and we will look first at the units we have here. Now okay, Stanley, now you and I can talk, right? We've got these things that go over here to Dutch Harbor. This needs to get over there. We currently don't have anything ready to go to take it as far as I know, but we're going to find something because that needs to go to Dutch Harbor, and I've been really lax about that because we do need to start getting things up there in Alaska so the Japanese don't get any crazy ideas about what they can do. Now we have local minesweeping and we have surface combat, which is just this destroyer. I do believe this is one of the ones that came over from Pearl Harbor, so we're going to do ASW San Fran. Okay, and let's go to the patrol zone. You're lost in the patrol zone. This one, why don't we have it go out a little further? Maybe there. Okay, and then we'll do part two of the boundary, let's say there, because we've got a lot of them that are in close. We may as well do one that's a little further away. Now it's going to have to refuel a lot more, but it is what it is. That'll give us a little. We'll do a max reactive 2. That's fine. It's a little further away, so we'll do a max reactive 2. And then what ships do we have in port? Give me a transport. Give me a No, we do. We have the Wharton here. Okay, well, why can't that take the base force? We have 2 ACMs here and we have 2 tenders. Okay, so let's go make a transport task force. All right. Um, that's not what I wanted. Let's put the Wharton in there. Okay, done. As a matter of fact, we now may take that destroyer I just set up and put it in here to go with it. Why don't we do that? I don't feel like losing a transport with a whole unit on it. So let's dock that at San Fran and let's load. There it is. I think can we get it on here? 1864. Yeah, we can do that. Okay. Perfect. Accept it. Let's do that. Okay. See, we're taking care of problems, Stanley. Dutch Harbor. And then we'll use that same one to get the one that's over here, like it's Sitka, I think, or some. It's Sitka, and take it to where it's supposed to go. I think that one's supposed to go out here to Cold Bay, maybe, or maybe a DAC. I just don't remember that. That's the base force for this, right? Or unless we already have one there. Okay, so that's going to go flying out there and come back. The Perkins has a 2 ASW, I believe. That should work. Excellent. Ooh, I like when a plan comes together. All of this stuff, you know, it's just hanging out. There's not a whole lot you have to do with any of that. Let's go to Seattle. All right. Oh, I did want to look at San Francisco at the planes. I don't know why I didn't do that. Let's go here. They're all training at 100% except for the one that's doing ASW. It's at 70 because it's probably another one of those that's like 50 and 20, 20 still training. And so, yeah. Well, Stanley, I agree. It is to communicate and have fun. I feel like I do quite a bit of that. The uploading is a little more serious, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes I'm not serious on those either. Uh, well, sure. Yeah, I mean, I try to chat with you. Come on, Stanley. Um, but I understand what you're saying. Yes, I should look back there every 5 minutes or so just to make sure, because a lot of times you guys catch stuff and then I have to back up. Okay, let's see. Seattle, Seattle, rainy Seattle, once home of Nirvana. We've got these float planes here because we've still got what is it? The Respite that's here, I believe. That's the British ship that's being repaired, and it had some float planes. I think that's what's here. Let's look at these units. Now, here's another one that's supposed to go to Dutch, one that's supposed to go to Attic, and one that's supposed to go to Cold Bay. Wow, we got a lot going on. As a matter of fact, let's put that one in strap mode, just so it's ready to go when we're ready to go. Okay, so we've got those units here. What task force do we have? We've got a tanker task force. Okay, what's this tanker task force up to? Well, not a whole lot. It's supposed to be going to Seward. Um, it's a pretty good task force, really. Let's replenish. Let's dock it and let's replenish it. The Questral should. Come on, kick up a little bit. Well, it's not. Not yet. Let's load fuel. Okay. And I guess we'll take this back up to Alaska. It's going to Seward. What's Seward's fuel situation? Fuel situation's looking pretty good at Seward. What's it looking like in Anchorage? And it shouldn't have fuel problems, right? Okay, well, we're going to start having this go down to Pearl Harbor then. There's no reason we need to take it to Seward. We'll have it go out to Pearl Harbor, and we'll just make that continuous. Okay. We're going to turn that down to minimal refuel. Did I do that with that cargo before? Probably not. I probably forgot. Local mine sweep. All right. So that's the task forces. Let's look at the planes. They're all training. Okay. That all looks good. We've got them all set up right. Any ships in port? No. Well, it says we've got 3. They're all under repair. The Warspite, the Colorado, the Horace Luckenbach. Um, those are all, the one is a tender, the other 2 are being repaired. Let's look at Vancouver very quickly. Okay, everybody's at their target in Vancouver. We've got a mine laying task force here. Oh, interesting. This is the one that's supposed to be picking up mines. Did he do it? The Barbican? Yes. Okay, well, where do we want to mine? Last time we did it out here by these islands, we may as well do that again. Why don't we mine Attic? I seem to think if the Japanese were going to come out here, that's where they would do it. Let's say lay mines. They can always come back to Vancouver and get more. Okay. The planes. The plane. Again, they're training. That looks fine. We have 1 ship in port. I believe it's the ACM, the Trapper. It is. And that is that. We've made our way all the way up to Vancouver. Uh, yeah, Sitka Base Force moving to Cold Bay. That's what we really need to do is get some of those transports up there. Now, I have a few in LA, but I'm very loath to move them from LA because you have so much stuff that comes out of LA. But we are really getting stuffed up there in Seattle with, 2 or 3, I guess it's 3 units that need to go out to those Alaskan islands. And so we need to get some stuff up there, Stanley. We need to. But that is for another episode, gentlemen. We will be back. I'll be back. Who's we? I'll be back. Hopefully, you'll be back too. I'm going to go look and see what's going on with YouTube. I'll be back in like 15. I'm going to do War in the East 2. If you haven't caught my air tips episode, go check that out. If you don't look at anything else for the air war, that is what I have learned over now a lot of time with the game of what the essential, some of the more advanced air tips are. Now, if you haven't played the game at all, that's not going to do you much good if you don't understand kind of the basics of the air war. But if you've been playing a little bit, some of the things people have been trying to figure out, I try to answer there. So anyway, Stanley, I will chat more when we're doing the live streams. I enjoy your constructive criticism, and I will be back to talk more in 15 minutes. We'll be back War in the Pacific on Wednesday. We will be resolving a turn. I next time am going to bust butt. We may even take an hour and a half because I'm going to try to get all the way through Alaska, Pearl Harbor, and the islands leading out to Australia around our iron fence. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Strategy Gaming Dojo. I can't talk now. Be good. Goodbye.